So getting into the last portion of our anatomy of the wrist, hand, and forearm, I'm going to be discussing the last four muscles and the TFCC and carpal tunnel. So the four muscles are flexor carpi radialis, flexor carpi ulnaris, the palmaris longus, and the flexor digitorum profundus. So starting off with the flexor carpi radialis, it originates from the epicondyle of the humerus, starts off fat, comes up here, comes here, and it's going to insert right on the base of your second and third metacarpal. Getting into the flexor carpi ulnaris is going to be start off a little thin, fan out, get a little fat, come down here. Once you start getting closer to the pinky, it's going to get thin. It's going to come right here to the base of the fifth metacarpal. All right, and then going into the palmaris longus, it's going to start off thin, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. It's going to fan out here. It's going to start thin here, getting into the wrist, going over your carpal bones. Coming here, it's going to fan out and it's going to attach basically at the distal portion of each metacarpal of 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then getting into the flexor digitorum profundus, it is the proximal portion of your radius. It's going to come, I'm sorry, not your radius, your ulna. It's going to come out here, start fat. And just like the palmaris longus, once it gets to the wrist, it starts fanning out in its own thin section. It's going to go all the way down to the distal portion of your fingers. So the distal phalange of those four fingers. Now getting into the triangular fibrocartilage complex, it is distal of the ulna. So come here, anatomical, find the ulna. Distal ulna is like this little gap around this section right here. And this region allows the wrist to twist, straighten, rotate, bend, and move left to right. And carpal tunnel. So carpal tunnel is something that a lot of people have suffered from. It has to deal with compression of the median nerve, and the 9 tendons that are associated with it are the tendons from 2 muscle groups and 1 separate muscle. So the flexor pollicis longus, that tendon is associated with it. And the first group are the 4 tendons of your flexor digitorum superficialis and your 4 tendons of your flexor digitorum profundus. And that is the anatomy of the wrist. Thank you, guys.